Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, our reading from the 18th Adhyaya, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. And Sri Krishna has told Arjuna, my dear friend, whether you like it or not, maybe out of that false ego you might be saying that I am not going to fight. That might be your resolve. But what you are saying, I am not going to fight, is in vain. It doesn't have any substance in it. It doesn't have any strength in it, what you are saying. It is a foolish talk you are talking under the spell of delusion. Because the core nature of yours will compel you, will force you to wage this war. Right now you are saying, I am not going to fight. Out of that ahankara that you are carrying, I am not going to fight. Yat ahankaram ashritya. You have taken refuge in that false ego. You have surrendered yourself to that false ego, saying, I am not going to fight. Na yotsya iti manyase. You are feeling that you are not going to fight. Out of that false, taking shelter in that false ego, taking refuge under that false ego, you are saying, you are feeling that I am not going to fight. Na yotsya. And then Mithyesha, Sri Krishna says, this is in vain, this is foolish talk. This talk, what you are saying, what you are feeling that I am not going to fight, doesn't have any truth in it. It is all mithya, it is all falsity that you are thinking. Vyavasayaste prakrutistvam niyokshati. Your very nature, the prakriti, your prakriti will compel you to heed this resolve of yours. Your prakriti will force that this resolve that you have taken, I will not fight. It will just go away. Don't think that you are not going to fight. So this is the stern, indication that Sri Krishna has given to Arjuna. Whether you like it or not, you might be saying under the influence of that false delusion that you are not going to fight. That is what your resolve is right now. You have thrown the bow, you have slumped yourself onto the footboard of this chariot saying, I will not fight. You are telling you have got fever, you are perspiring and your limbs are shaking and all that. This is nothing but mithya. This is nothing but facade. This is nothing but in vain happening. Your very core, your very nature will compel you to break this resolve of not fighting. And you will see that, yes, Arjuna getting ready for the war. Now Sri Krishna in the 60th Shloka is again reiterating what he told him in the 59th Shloka of our previous reading. The 60th Shloka of our reading today. Svabhāvajena Kaunteya nibaddhaḥ svena karmaṇā kartuṃ necchasi yanmohātkariṣyasyavaśo'pi yanmohātkariṣyasyavaśo'pi tat svabhāvajena Kaunteya. O Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Like you are born in this birth as the son of Kunti, like you have taken this birth as a Kaunteya. With that birth, you have inherited your own nature. You have inherited that tendency, inherent tendency. It has taken shape along with your birth. Svabhāvajena, O Kaunteya, nibaddhaḥ svena karmaṇā. And with that svabhāva, you are bound to do your duty. Nibaddhaḥ, you are bound. You are compelled. You cannot just say no to it. You are bound to the core of your inherent nature to perform your duty. Svena karmaṇā. Your own duty you will have to perform. Kartuṃ necchasi. Whether you like it or not, whether you wish to perform that karma or not, you are bound to do it. You are nibaddhaḥ. Kartuṃ necchasi. Even that karma which you don't wish to do. Waging this righteous war, you don't want to do it. That is what your wish is. I don't want to fight. You are saying under the spell of that illusion. And yanmohātkariṣyasyavaśo'pi. What you are saying out of this delusion that has befallen you, this delusion which has grasped you in its clutches, and you are saying, I am not going to fight. You have taken this resolve of not fighting. That is all going to vanish. That kariṣyasyavaśo'pi. Even if you don't feel like, even if you are helpless to do it, you have to do it. There is no other go. See how our inheritance, so-called, the inheritance of karma, that doesn't leave us from doing that which we are ought to do in this life. We may be running away from doing certain things, but it won't happen. Sri Krishna says, the birth you have taken, that birth have brought with it the tendencies and the karmas and the actions and the tasks that we have to perform, whether we like it or not, whether we wish to do it or not. And that has become our swadharma. Arjuna doesn't like to fight at this juncture, although he has fought many wars earlier. He has battled. He has battled to eliminate evil. He has battled against the unrighteousness earlier. But now, when the real fight has come up, he has all fallen to that. He has fallen prey to that delusion. And now he is saying, I will not fight. He has taken that resolve of I will not fight. But Krishna says that resolve is going to be short-lived, my dear friend. That resolve is not going to stay there forever. Very soon, whether you like it or not, you are just helpless. You have to do it. You have to wage this war. You have to eliminate the unrighteousness. You have to protect the righteousness. And you have to wipe out that wretchedness, that evil from the face of this earth. That is your duty, and you are helpless. My dear child, you are helpless. You will have to do it, even if you resolve not to do it. So this is what Sri Krishna says, that each one of us, when we take the natural tendencies we can never ever avoid. Now, just to give one example on this, we all are we are proficient in 3, 4, 5, 6 languages based on our language picking up skill. If I'm good at picking up languages, I might be speaking 6 or 7 or 8 languages so fluently that people may not actually know. People will not get a clue as to which is my mother tongue. I will be speaking English, I will be speaking Hindi, I will be speaking Marathi, I will be speaking Bengali, I will be speaking Kannada, Oriya, with the same proficiency, all the languages. It will be extremely difficult for people to identify, to make out which is my mother tongue. But people can make out. People can make out the mother tongue of each and every person when the person gets some kind of shock, some kind of a sudden joy, some kind of a sudden thrill, some kind of a sudden shock. The person always expresses these sudden expressions in mother tongue. We are here sitting and suddenly our hand touches something, we get pain and we blurt out in our mother tongue. That is the inherent nature. Although I might be wishing to express all my feelings all the time, say in English, but the natural mother tongue will just find its first expression on finding some kind of a sudden shock. It might be a pleasant shock, it might be a painful shock, or it might be actually a shock out of some hit that I have had. The first the expression is of the mother tongue, and that's how we can identify the person's inherent nature, to which state he belongs, what is the mother tongue, those kind of things. So our inherent nature will compel us to do what is required to be done. It has taken birth with us. Svabhāvajena, Sri Krishna says. It takes birth with our inherent nature. The tendencies that we have accumulated all through these very many lives. All these tendencies we are carrying, they determine our svabhāva. And according to that svabhāva, we cannot avoid doing certain things. Whether we like it or not, whether we wish to do this or not, we may be proclaiming, I am not going to do it. But our very nature will compel us, Sri Krishna says. It will, we are helpless, we are avasha for that matter. We are helpless, we cannot avoid, we will have to do those things. Man is obliged to act in conformity with his nature that he cannot avoid. Heaven and hell are the projections of the mental makeup of people. As shadow follows a substance, man's nature clings on to him. Like our shadow, we may try to avoid, this shadow, I don't want this shadow to follow me. Can we do it? We are walking outside on the road and our shadow is following us. We don't want our shadow to follow us. Can we avoid it? By its own inherent nature, that shadow will follow us wherever we go, whether we like it or not, whether we wish it or not. And Sri Krishna says in the same way, the inherent tendencies that will compel us to do what we are ought to do. And we cannot avoid. Outwardly might be saying, I don't want to do it. To act, therefore, in tune with one's nature is the only way to work out and to exhaust one's karma. So if I have taken this body to perform certain karma, I have to do it. I have to finish off. I have to clean the slate at the end of it. I have to wipe out the balance sheet. I have to make it 0-0, no assets, no liabilities. I have to make it 0-0. I have to finish all the karmas. And only then I can prepare myself to reach that stage of moksha that Sri Krishna is teaching us in this moksha sannyasa yoga. So that was Sri Krishna's strong teaching again to Arjuna, that we are bound by our birth. We are bound by our inherent natures of doing what is ought to be done by us. So now Sri Krishna is opening Arjuna's eyes. That man, you might be thinking, you might be saying, I am not going to fight. You might be wishing not to fight. But you cannot helpless. You cannot help it. You are so helpless. You are avashaha. You have to follow your inherent tendencies. You have to follow your svabhāva. You have to follow your core nature for which you have taken this birth. So that is 60th shloka of the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. And slowly we are inching towards that stage of attaining the nirvana, attaining the moksha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.